Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Raheen Ashimi Show. Welcome to the Raheen Ashimi Show. Not going to be before you long. I just want to come here and talk to you about a few minutes about the debate, the vice presidential debate that happened last night. There's a few things that happened on there, and I'm not going to play the whole thing because I may only be here about 15 minutes. I'm doing some testing of the system because we got a great show that we're going to do tomorrow, and we're going to actually talk about this. So I don't want to go too deep into it, but what I do want to do, is just kind of talk to you about a few of the things. I'm going to skip over it, and I'm going to fast forward and go back, pick up where we left off, and continue the conversation about what happened last night on the presidential vice presidential debate. I've been getting different things about it. I've been getting different people saying different things about it, about how Kamala, Kamala, I always butcher this sister's name. No disrespect, love your sister, but I butcher her name. But Miss Harris, I just call her Miss Harris. How she did and what she did, and whether she was able to move forward with it. Was she kind of holding back a little on what she was talking about and the delivery that she had to do? Was she cast into the position of maybe being considered an angry black woman? We actually got 3 cameras going on, as well as our media outsource right here. So I'm working on a few things, trying to get everything together, and it's coming along very well. I'm very pleased with the picture. I'm very pleased with the picture. I hope that you are as well. It looks good to me. But let's do this. Like I said, again, I don't want to be here before you too long. So let's jump right into this debate. We're gonna jump right into it, and we're going to let me do this. Go right to it. This is the opening, and I want to thank CNN. I think it was actually CNN that brought this forward last night. Yeah, CNN. No, it's not CNN. I can't. It's not telling me, but thank you for whatever platform actually provided this. So let's get started. Let's go into the vice presidential debate about a little about what they did last night and what was covered. Here we go. Hope you enjoy.
I'm Susan Page of USA Today. It is my honor to moderate this debate, an important part of our democracy. In Kingsbury Hall tonight, we have a small and socially distant audience, and we've taken extra precautions during this pandemic. Among other things, everyone in the audience is required to wear a face mask, and the candidates will be seated 12 feet apart. The audience is enthusiastic about their candidates, but they've agreed to express that enthusiasm only twice, at the end of the debate and now when I introduce the candidates. Please welcome California Senator Kamala Harris and Vice President Mike Pence.
Wow.
The banks, credit facilities, it's just not going to work. How are you going to verify people using this levy of?
Now, this is something I can't control. You know, this is commercial. Let me take the picture out because I wanted to watch it with you. But this is they got a few commercials on it, and so I can't control that. But let's get back to it.
Senator Harris and Vice President Pence, thank you for being here. We're meeting as President Trump and the First Lady continue to undergo treatment in Washington after testing positive for COVID-19. We send our thoughts and prayers to them for their rapid and complete recovery and for the recovery of everyone afflicted by the coronavirus. The 2 campaigns and the Commission on Presidential Debates have agreed to the ground rules for tonight. I'm here to enforce them on behalf of the millions of Americans who are watching. One note, no one in either campaign or at the commission or anywhere else has been told in advance what topics I'll raise or what questions I'll ask. This 90-minute debate will be divided into 9 segments of about 10 minutes each. I'll begin a segment by posing a question to each of you, sometimes the same question, sometimes a different question on the same topic. You will then have 2 minutes to answer without interruption by me
without interruptions. Did you hear that?
Then we'll take 6 minutes or so to discuss the issue. At that point, although there will always be more to say, we'll move on to the next topic. We want a debate that is lively, but Americans also deserve a discussion that is simple. These are tumultuous times, but we can and will have a respectful exchange about the big issues facing our nation. Let's begin with the ongoing pandemic that has cost our country so much. Senator Harris, the coronavirus is not under control. Over the past week, Johns Hopkins reports that 39 states have had more COVID cases over the past 7 days than in the week before. 9 states have set new records. Even if a vaccine is released soon, the next administration will face hard choices. What would a Biden administration do in January and February that a Trump administration wouldn't do? Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and schools and hotspots? A federal mandate to wear masks? You have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Thank you, Susan. Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country.
In the history. Come on, sister. Come on.
210,000 dead people in our country in just the last several months. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease. 1 in 5 businesses closed. We're looking at frontline workers who have been treated like sacrificial workers. We are looking at over 30 million people who in the last several months had to file for unemployment. And here's the thing. On January 28th, the Vice President and the President were informed about the nature of this pandemic. They were informed that it's lethal in consequence, that it is airborne, that it will affect young people, and that it would be contracted because it is airborne. And they knew what was happening and they didn't tell you. Can you imagine if you knew on January 28th, as opposed to March 13th, what they knew, what you might have done to prepare? They knew and they covered it up. The president said it was a hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it. The president said, you're on one side of his ledger if you wear a mask, you're on the other side of his ledger if you don't. And in spite of all of that, today they still don't have a plan.
Don't have a plan.
They still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does. And our plan is about what we need to do around a national strategy for contact tracing, for testing, for administration of the vaccine, and making sure that it will be free for all. That is the plan that Joe Biden has and that I have, knowing that we have to get a hold of what has been going on.
Come on.
And we need to save our country. And Joe Biden is the best leader to do that. And frankly, this administration has forfeited their right to re-election based on this.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, more than 210,000 Americans have died of COVID-19 since February. The U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population is higher than that of almost every other wealthy nation on earth. For instance, our death rate is 2.5 times that of Canada next door. You head the administration's coronavirus task force. Why is the U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population higher than that of almost every other wealthy country? And you have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Susan, thank you. I want to thank the Commission and the University of Utah for hosting this event.
Answer the question, man.
It's a privilege to be on the stage with you. Our nation's gone through a very challenging time this year. But I want the American people to know that from the very first day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America first. Before there were more than 5 cases in the United States, all people who had returned from China.
Come on, man.
President Donald Trump did what no other American president had ever done.
Yeah, he
That
failed.
was he suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world. Now, Senator Joe Biden opposed that decision. He said it was xenophobic and hysterical. But I can tell you, having led the White House coronavirus task force, that decision alone by President
You failed.
bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since
Y'all heard that?
World War II. And I believe it saved hundreds of thousands of American lives. Because with that time, we were able to reinvent testing. More than 150 million tests have been done today. We were able to see to the delivery of billions of supplies so our doctors and nurses had the resources and support they needed. And we began really before the month of February was ours to develop a vaccine and to develop medicines and therapeutics that have been saving lives all along the way. Under President Trump's leadership, Operation Warp Speed, we believe will have literally tens of millions of doses of vaccine before the end of this year. The reality is, when you look at the Biden plan, it reads an awful lot like what President Trump and I and our task force have been doing every step of the way. Quite frankly, when I look at their plan that talks about advancing testing, creating the PPE, developing the vaccine, it looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about. I think the American people know that this is a president who is.
Let's talk about plagiarism for a second. Now, you say it looks like plagiarism. That's what you said, Vice President Pence. You said plagiarism. But let's talk about plagiarism, if we could talk about it for a second. And I hope y'all don't mind. Let me take this. I'm going to take this picture off because I don't need to look at myself twice. Now, plagiarism, is that the same thing that Trump's wife, Melania, how you say her name, Melania, or whatever her name is that the same thing that she did with Michelle Obama's speech, word for word? Is that the same plagiarism that you're talking about right now? Because if I remember correctly, she took Michelle Obama's speech and said that speech word for word. And then so much so people started comparing which one said it best. Which one said it best? Which one had the best delivery of Michelle's speech? Now, how could you take somebody else's speech, say the speech word for word, and then all of a sudden now you want to try to determine who said it better? I say the one who wrote it said it better. The original one that did it said it better. And you want to talk about the original? Michelle Obama. Now, I'm going to get back to this because I'm not going to be here long. Y'all, man, look here, I could go over this whole thing in like a fine comb and go through it and tell you what he messed up. He didn't answer too many questions. If y'all saw it, he didn't answer too many questions. He danced and plinged around and did all the little shuckle and he shook and jive. You know, he shook and jive so much. He might be a brother because brothers shake and jive sometimes. He did a lot of shucking and jiving. He might be a brother. Take that mask off, boy. I know who you are, but let's get back to it. Y'all know I got to be silly. Here we go. Let's get back to this and listen to a little bit more of what he is going to say down and how she's going to handle him. I love it when she said, I'm talking. Hey, I'm talking. Treat him like a child. Here we go.
With my heart. To be proud of the sacrifices they have made to save countless Americans.
Senator Harris, would like to respond?
Absolutely. Whatever the vice president's planning the administration has done, clearly it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000 dead bodies in our country,
you better say it.
Lives that have been lost, families that are grieving that loss. And you know, the vice president is the head of the task force and knew on January 28th how serious this was. And then thanks to Bob Woodward, we learned that they knew about it. And then when that was exposed, the vice president said, when asked, well, why didn't y'all tell anybody? He said, because the president wanted people to remain calm. Well, let's go right up. No, but Susan, this is important. And I want to add, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Go ahead. Tell him again.
So, 15 more seconds, and then we'll give the vice president a chance.
So I want to ask the Americans, how calm were you when you were panicked about where you're going to get your next phone call? How calm were you when your kids were sent home from school and you didn't know when they could go back? How calm were you when your children couldn't see your parents because you were afraid they could kill them?
Let's give Vice President Pence a chance to respond. Vice President, you have 1 minute.
There's not a day gone by that I have lost a lot.
Really?
I want all of you to know
Really?
that you'll always be in our hearts and in our prayers.
That's a nut.
But when you say what the American people have done over these last 8 months hasn't worked, that's a great disservice. The sacrifices the American people have made. She said it. If I may finish.
Hold on. She said it, but what she also said is over 210,000 people dead. Is it working? 210,000 people dead. It's not working, Holmes. It ain't working.
It hasn't worked.
No.
Fauci and Dr. Birx, our medical experts, came to us in the second week of March. They said if the president didn't take the unprecedented step of shutting down roughly half of the American economy, that we could lose 2.2 million Americans. That's the reality.
Thank you.
They also said to us if we did everything right,
Look at that. Don't know how to stop talking. Don't know how to stop talking.
Vice
Now,
President
one
Pence.
life lost is too many, Susan. But the American people, I believe, deserve credit for the sacrifices that they have made.
Yeah. 210,000 people dead. That's a heck of a sacrifice, Mr. Vice President. That's a heck of a sacrifice when you done lost 210,000.
In a Rose Garden event 11 days ago, what seems to have been a super spreader event for senior administration congressional officials. No social distancing, few masks, and now a cluster of coronavirus cases among those who were there. How can you expect Americans to follow the administration's safety guidelines to protect themselves from COVID when you at the White House have not been doing so?
When you ain't did it yourself.
Well, the American
You ain't did it yourself.
have demonstrated
You ain't did it. You ain't did it.
that when given the facts,
You ain't did it.
for the health of their families and their neighbors, President Trump and I have great confidence in the American people.
Evidently not. Confident that you're gonna kill them. That's what you're doing. You're killing them.
In the height of the epidemic, we were losing a heartbreaking number of 2,500 Americans a day. We surged resources to New Jersey, New York, New Orleans, Detroit, told the American people that we could be done. The American people made sacrifices. When the outbreak of the Sun Belt happened this summer, again, Americans stepped forward. But the reality is the work of the President of the United States goes on. The vacancy on the Supreme Court of the United States has come upon us, and the President introduced Judge Amy Coney Barrett.
Thank you, Vice
But at
President.
that, if I may say, that Rose Garden, been a great deal of speculation. My wife Karen and I were there, and honored to be there. Many of the people who were at that event, Susan, actually.
I believe you trying to set Trump up too. How he get corona and you ain't got it, and you be right there with him everywhere you go. I believe you trying to set him up too. I believe that. I'm gonna tell you what I believe. How he get corona and you and your wife ain't got corona?
Joe Biden, Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, not just mandates with the coronavirus.
I gotta get out of here, y'all. I do another one of these real soon. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. This joker here is a capital liar. You're a capital liar.
You respect the American people when you tell them the truth. You respect the American people when you have the courage to be a leader speaking of those things that you may not want people to hear, but they need to hear so they can protect themselves. But this administration stood on information that if you had as a parent, if you had as a worker knowing you didn't have enough money saved up, and now you're standing in a food line because of the ineptitude of an administration
One of them big old words.
unwilling to speak the truth to the American people. So let's talk about caring about
She went to
the
school.
American people. The American people
She went to school.
too much.
Big old word.
The incompetence of this administration.
You heard?
They're asking too much of the people.
Susan,
They're asking too much of the people. That they would not be equipped with the information they need to help themselves to protect their parents and their
I'm sorry.
children.
Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, I mean, I'm sorry.
It's fine, I'm Kamala.
No, you're Senator Harris to me. For life to get back to normal, Dr. Anthony Fauci and other experts say that most of the people who can be vaccinated.
She said, I ain't worried about no title. I'm Kamala. Call me that. Let my mama call me.
If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it and would you take it?
No.
If the public health professionals, if doctors.
No.
If the
No,
doctors
no, no.
that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Vice President Pence, there have been a lot of repercussions from this pandemic. In recent days, the president's diagnosis of COVID-19 has underscored the importance of the job that you hold and that you are seeking. That's our second topic tonight. It's the role of the vice president. One of you will make history on January 20th. You will be the vice president to the oldest president the United States has ever had. Donald Trump will be 74 years old on Inauguration Day. Joe Biden will be 78 years old. That already has raised concerns among some voters, concerns that have been sharpened by President Trump's hospitalization in recent days. Vice President Pence, have you had a conversation or reached an agreement with President Trump about safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability? And if not, do you think you should? You have 2 minutes without interruption.
Well, Susan.
Oh, we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop right there, y'all. We're going to stop right there. I'll come back and do another one later, but we're going to stop right there because, you know, you ain't going to get no more lies, so I ain't going to do lie some more. That's all they can do. He going to lie. They just keep on lying. That's all that's going to happen. So you ain't missing too much. Ain't no but a bunch of lies. But listen, we're about to get out of here. Y'all have a great day. And this has been good. And y'all make sure y'all share this. Share it with other people so they can see it as well. All right. Appreciate being with you. This is the Raheen Ashimi Show. It is time for us to get out of here. But before we go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And if we shine some of this light from you, shine some of this light on you from the Raheen Ashimi Show. Take this light out into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You all take care of each other, love each other. You might just find some love in return. Take care. Love you.